Hello, this is my evaluation of the case role play that I presented. It was a case study where basically it was a daughter who had come to and brought the family in because she was having problems that she felt were related to her ability to have intimate relations. And when I use the word intimate relations, I just mean that she was she did not feel like she had the ability to be close to other people in an effective manner and with significant others. Now, she was the child that basically had assumed the hero role because the father was an alcoholic abuser. As a hero, she was stabilizing the family and may have become detached from her feelings from this process where she was playing the hero all the time. Uh, in the formation of the genogram, and I'm going to reference to the genogram I have here, uh, the father was alcoholic. There was a cutoff between the father and the mother. And they also had described that the mother had a very strong relationship with the daughter, the hero. She also was able to maintain a strong relationship with the father instead of being cut off from him. Now, there were three siblings that she had. One was an older sibling, married with a child, and seemed to function with a positive attachment with both of the parents. So it leads me to believe that this older daughter had, because of her own marriage, had been able to separate somewhat from the family, but still was able to maintain a relationship with the father and the mother. So, plus the hero of the other daughter kind of leveled out everything and kept the conflict from affecting the other children as badly. However, one of the brothers that she had um, was not able to handle the relationships and actually had broke and had emotional cutoff with the father. It didn't even indicate in the genogram how he was relating to the others. It just indicated that he had shut off from the father. There was another sister, younger, who had a relationship going on with the mother, which was kind of a positive attachment, but she too did not have a relationship with the father that was evident in the genogram. Once again, showing that the hero um, was probably fairly effective in stabilizing the family and keeping the conflict minimized. So, in reviewing the tape, the role play, I felt that a couple of the things that I needed to focus on as it was that I need to watch out for big words. I had a tendency to use words like differentiation and even the word of trying to explain the triangulation and the alliances. These are big words, and it may not be able to be understood by the members of the family. And so you have to use another approach where you're explaining it, showing it to them so it makes logical sense. They get the concepts without having to deliver the words necessarily. Um, Also, that the genogram in a preferred setting would have been done in the first session with all the family members. With this 10-minute role play, I had them supposedly do the genogram prior, and that did cause a little bit of conflict when, well, not conflict, but confusion when we were going over the genogram with the mother and the daughter because the mom did not seem comfortable with the genogram. So in reality, the therapist is going to have to take a good time to explain how the genogram is working with all the members of the family. And like I said, this should actually be done with all the members of the family. So in our role play, we assumed that they had done this prior and that some of the members had refused, and we explained that they were not going to be coming into the session, it'd just be the daughter and the mother. One of the words that threw off the therapy session was using the word cut off. It was not understood by the mother, and she took offense to the word and became very defensive. So when you're going over the genogram, make sure you stay focused on the concept of communication and how this communication can relieve stress, and avoid words like cutoff if the client does not really understand that word. Interesting enough, the mom did show that Bobby had issues, is suggesting that he had pulled away from the relationship with the family. She was very focused on Robert would not drinking. She was, in other words, focused on the behavior, not on the interactions of the family members. So she kind of had to be redirected through knowledge and providing information as to what the concepts were of triangulation and differentiation, not using those words, but explaining what they were doing in effect. The daughter did mention that it wasn't all his fault, and that's when we got more into bringing out the fusion that had been occurring between the mom and the daughter because of the lack of communication with the father. Even though the mother considered the relationship with the children as a good relationship, it took a lot of explaining before she realized that there was an imbalance between the emotional and rational thoughts that were going on. She described my problem was when we went to the daughter said, not all of the problem has to do with dad's drinking. And she brought up the fact they don't talk about the issues. So then I was able to introduce the iMessage. And in introducing the iMessage and explaining that, I was able to soften up the mother's position and relax her defensive nature. And then we were able to actually look at the importance of developing new alliances. And the determination was made that we needed to have better interactions with the sister and a closer relationship, especially the older sister who has had a positive image, so that these alliances would start to be better developed instead of the alliances that they had been relying on in the past. In order to deal with the mother's alliance to the daughter and being able to de-triangulate the situation, was able to bring up the concept of Al-Anon, even though in the video I kept forgetting the word Al-Anon, and it kind of threw me a little bit. But the support, she started to recognize that what I was referring to was getting support from the best resources, and that Al-Anon could give her a resource. And this helped to minimize her resistance. And so, with all that, the general focus of this was to get them to understand or start to understand the triangulation that had occurred and the fact they needed to de-triangulate, and to get them to realize that they could start building different alliances. And with the mother, that doing this would prevent some alliances that in the past had created problems when they thought they were actually helping, but they were actually not helping but hurting the situation. So that's my summation, and I hope you enjoyed the role play.